In today's episode of HR Visionaries, we talk to Alex from Brightgrove. We talk about how to be an international company with all employees distributed around the world. Stay tuned. Welcome to HR Visionaries, where we unlock the secrets of modern HR. I'm Benjamin, your host. Join us as we shed light on today's HR universe with HR leaders and innovators from across the globe. Whether you're an HR pro, a business leader, or just curious about the future of work, this is your shortcut to the forefront of HR innovation. Brought to you by Hire, the AI talent attraction platform. Welcome to the latest episode of HR Visionaries. I am looking forward to my guest today, Alex. Alex, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. So really looking forward to this conversation.
Me too, Alex. Alex, can you tell us in 5 sentences, who are you?
My name is Alex Povoliashko. I am the VP of global talent acquisition for Brightgrove. Brightgrove is originally Ukraine software development company, and I'm here responsible for the whole recruitment and talent acquisition function.
So can you tell us a bit about what you guys actually do? So what does your company do?
Right. Brightgrove is an outsourcing company. We work a lot with all different kinds of programming languages, technologies, tools, and everything else. And our main focus is actually to produce software solutions for our customers across the world. Pretty much we do both. We do team extension, staff augmentation projects whenever a customer just needs to make sure that their teams are rapidly extending and they are not able to kind of meet that demand on their own, as well as if the customer needs, if they have a business idea and if they want to create some software, they have the funds, they have investments, they have the money, but they don't have enough people, they don't have talents. So that's where we come into play. And actually, we were pretty good in creating software from scratch. So, these are the two main areas that we are focusing on right now.
So it sounds to me there are quite a number of challenges for you to handle. So, for example, different tech stacks, different kind of integration of your people at other companies. Is that the correct right description?
Definitely. Brightgrove initially was so to say like a generalist in software development. So whenever there was any type of request, we were there in place to offer help to offer a solution. But just recently, since the economy took the downturn, we realized for ourselves that we better select specific niches and like domain directions, or we call those verticals, where we become experts in. So it's quite impossible to be able to sell like anything to anybody right now, because there is so much competition out there on the market. So we are trying to become experts in say TV streaming, for example, or real estate, or digital cloud transformation projects. So this type of things, and these 3 verticals are actually our main focus right now.
Why did you become a leader in the HR space?
Well, this is a very good historic question. I started back in 2006, so that's like almost 18 years ago. And back at the
time, doesn't feel like that, right?
It doesn't. I know it. Just time flies so fast. But it's true. It's really there. And I was still a college student, just needed to make some money, and I started as a recruiter and tried that profession for myself, and I quickly realized this is like not something that you do just to get it into the industry, but this is something that becomes quite complex and serious as a profession. So for myself, it became serious quite fast, and I started, investigating. I started growing in the sphere, I'm here right now and still loving it.
Well, what I think is really funny over the or what's actually not necessarily funny, but it's quite a trend over the last years that in industries like consulting, in industries like banking, in industries like software development, the power has kind of shifted from the employer to the employee, given, well, the intellectual capacity, um, the incremental kind of benefit from, well, is very much on the side of the employee. So making sure that, well, my intellectual capacity brings the company forward, brings your clients forward. So how did you experience that?
You know what? This is a very complicated question right now, actually, because I think the whole situation is turning 180 degrees. Is turning around because, like, if you take the situation 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, the hiring demand was so high that the companies, the big corporations, the medium corporations, even the small startups, they all struggled, getting the people they need to do the projects, right? And that's when actually it was there was kind of a race to get those talents. So like all companies were trying to offer some higher motivations like more money or some new type of benefits, say like for 4 days work week, for example, or unlimited vacation, or stock options and all those type of things. And then people were in a situation where they could just select between the offers. So I think since the recession started, this situation drastically changed, and it's right now it's like the other way around. So it's again the employer market. It's back to the situation when a lot of people have been laid off. A lot of people are searching for a job right now, and the corporations took their time to reduce their budget, to save costs, and actually keep only the core groups of people. So there's just so many people on the market right now looking for work, and nobody knows for how much longer it's going to last, because we cannot say that we are in the beginning of a recession, we are in the middle, or we are at the end, because the whole global situation is so much dynamic right now, and so many things are changing, and there's a lot of moving parts. But at this point of time, the market is back. It seems to be back to being an employee-centered market, and people are trying to find their places. They're trying to increase their skills. They're trying to get up to speed on the modern technology to increase their value. So that's the only way to actually secure your spot in the market, I think.
It's super interesting, given, as you said, so like a few years ago, only a few months ago, and it was like incredibly powerful, what employees could do at the same time. Well, I think in particular, in specific roles, there's still a scarcity of great talents, and therefore it's super exciting how the development comes and goes. And I was wondering how this is, how to experience this in your role, given your clients probably require the very skilled people, very reliable people, that, however, have probably most of their emotional connection towards you as a company, not towards the product they're working on.
Well, yeah, I think the clients are being the clients. So they've always been asking for highest quality at most reasonable cost, and with for people who can produce the best quality results. So like right now that only increased, I would say. There's a lot more talents to select from. And again, back at the if we're looking back at a year and a half, 2 years ago, for example, the common situation was when you would come to a candidate saying that there's a test assignment from the customer, they will just walk away. They just simply would not want to do that, right? But right now, it's like, how else can you check, right? You can talk to the person you can make sure that the soft skills are okay, the personality is fine, there is a culture match and everything else, but still you need to understand if the person will fit from the technological experience standpoint, right? So such things as test assignments, for example, or online coding or other things, they're still big, and people who are not refusing those, they're kind of shooting themselves in the leg and kind of reducing their chances, right? So I think with the current market situation, all this increased demand, it's really important to be as flexible as possible. Otherwise, you will simply not be able to survive. That's it.
It's super interesting what you say, and well, in these times when people just refuse taking part of assessments, how do you kind of approach this entire topic of how can I get the best people if I can't really test them?
Yeah, this is a tricky question again, because with the current developments of AI, right, like ChatGPT and everything else, anyone can actually tackle the test assignments with the help of tools. Right? Not so it's very hard to determine whether the person has done it on their own or if some tool was used, right? And this same thing relates to college students. This is the major problem, right? So that is why there's actually another range of tools which are double checking the produced results for authenticity, right? If it's naturally done by a person or if there was some tools involved. So that's number one. Number two, in that situation, online coding or real-time coding is probably the best solution. It's when the people are talking on the call, like right now, real time, and they're talking talking about some task, and they're looking at how person is writing the code, and they're discussing it and everything else. So because other than that, it's really hard to make sure that something is done by a real person, and it's a major problem right now.
Well, I think it's kind of agreed amongst people who hire developers that a good developer can be like 10 times more productive than an average developer. How has that changed over the last year? So you just mentioned ChatGPT as well as a great tool to also double check code, to improve code. How was this development over the last few years?
It's really hard to predict, but as everyone can see right now, this is a major it's a major thing. It's probably not possible to avoid it, right? Because it's already out there. Everyone is speaking about that. Everyone is trying it out. It's it all conferences, it all meetups. People are talking about it constantly, all the time. So it's here with us in a stain for a long time here, right? So the major questions right now are in terms of regulations. If it complies to like personal data protection standards, or if it complies to some other humane or legal rules and regulations and everything else. But this is still something to be developed, and this is what the most progressive countries are doing right now. But the most important thing that is staying is, so for us as regular people, it is probably already clear that we need to accommodate the technology, right? So like we need to start working with it. We need to start adopting it and enhance our skills with the means of different tools. Like it's like just mastering any other instrument or any other tool, right? Just like before, there were already so many different automation tools or other things, but they were just called differently. Right now they are called AI products. So let it be. Just don't stop and keep working and progress. That's it.
Well, in your role, you're very technical. And you are someone who works a lot with developers, who understands them well. How important is that for the role you operate?
Well, I would not say that I'm super technical. Like I don't write code, but I do work with different types of tools and instruments. And more to say, we are developing our own in-house ERP system that kind of takes care of internal workflows and operations and everything else. And like a leader of one of the significant functions in the company, I'm kind of responsible for developing requirements, so to say, for this part of functionality. So it's probably not possible to stay away from technology these days, right? So you either kind of learn it and embrace it, or you just left out outside. That's why for all leaders, for all managers and all senior experienced people, it's really 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 important that this work with a specific toolkit that they determine is the most optimized specifically for their work, and just keep their eyes open for something new that comes. Research it, analyze it, test it. Don't try to grasp everything. Just try to understand what was the right toolkit for you specifically in your work, and that's what we are doing right now.
Well, in particular in HR, I think there are quite a number of toolkits out there. So quite a number of things that, well, programs, software systems that work incredibly well, others don't. So how was the experience, or how's the experience with those tools? Have you implemented those, or how do you operate?
Yeah, I mean, for recruiting, for example, the major thing is applicant tracking systems, correct? This is the, I would say, the most important thing that you kind of work with every day, right? This is the database where you store information, where you process information. And there's normally two ways. You can either create one for yourself, if the company capacity allows it, like do it internally, or you can take the other path and choose something that already exists on the market. But the hard question there is which one to choose, right? There's just so many options to select from. So I understand, like for myself, in the previous companies, for example, I had to do this all on my own, basically, like analyze different tools, like select the one that kind of responds to certain requirements, and definitely there would be a checklist of things that I will be looking at, and then the important thing would be kind of trial period and other things like that, and then implementation part. So again, it's really truly important if the product that is being used is really flexible, if it can accommodate what already exists, integrate with some other systems, and then be as flexible as possible to be built on top of other instruments. So it's a great thing for those companies who cannot afford to do something on their own. But again, the challenge is with selecting the right product.
What is for you? What are the main criteria for you to select select software in the HR space? Well, of course, being conscious that the people that you hire probably have very high standards when it comes to UX and client centricity.
Right.
Or candidate centricity in that case.
Yeah. Well, for myself, I think when I was doing this before, the major checkboxes was usability in the first place. It should be like very easy to understand. There should be good documentation in case of any questions that arise, and it should be like very clear how to use the product, right? That's number one. Number two is probably integrations with other systems. It should be easily integrated with pretty much anything. Use the previous database, integrate with other existing tools as much as possible, and pretty much it should respond to existing workflows as much as possible. Again, it's not realistic to make sure it's 100% compliant, but the higher that percentage is, the better, right? And Probably the third very important thing is flexibility and support from the team that developed the product, right? So in case if there is something that needs to be quickly changed or addressed or fixed, if it's a black box, that's bad, right? Because you don't know what's going on inside. But if it's open and the support team is very responsive and you can talk to humans and pretty much agree that something is can be changed quickly. This is a very significant checkbox for me, for example. This is something that I'll be looking for.
Well, as a company that produces software for other people, would you consider yourself rather demanding when you purchase software from other people?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's not like I see the product for the first time and I just go for it. No, I normally take my time to investigate and analyze, and until I'm at least close to 90% sure, I'll never go forward.
Okay, awesome. Alex, tell me a bit more about the culture, your company culture. I think it's actually pretty fascinating. So the work that you're doing. So with regards to being in Ukraine, now being in Toronto, Canada. How has your company culture changed? I saw you're hiring people all over the globe. How do you create or maintain a great company culture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I would say is Brightgrove is probably it's not only a company, it's a philosophy, right? So for us, for all the people who work here, it's all about the attitude of the top management. It's all about the attitude of leaders in this company towards their people, right? So everyone is treated with respect from day one that they join the company and all the way through their journey. So whatever happens, things that are positive, things that are not so much positive, drastic changes in economy and everything else, nothing is being a black box for our people. Everything is communicated openly and honestly, and everyone knows what is going on, right? If we need to if we need to grow, we say about that. If we need to go through some reductions or some cutting expenses processes, we are also being honest and open about that, and we explain the reasons. We deliver the information to people why that is happening and what is our plan, what we are going to do next. And I think like everyone in the company appreciates that a lot, and that's why people are sticking with us for a long while actually.
That's pretty amazing, and I think it's indeed it requires a lot of internal strength to communicate also tough decisions, as you said. The world is continuously changing, and that requires and needs an explanation. Who did tell you that? Who did taught you that?
Well, like I said, for me specifically, it's really important to understand that I work with people who I can trust, right? So for me personally, my manager is my leader, and my manager is the CEO of the company, and actually this is the person who hired me, and I came to work with his personality and the group of people who are working with him as well. So yeah, it's like people buy from people. It's not only about going online and reading some recommendation from other people about the company. It's like it's information that can be found anywhere, but it's about like touching it and feeling it, and if it relates, if it resonates, then it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But with Brightgrove, this is something that you can feel from the first conversations. And I joined the company 3.5 years ago, and I still do not regret. This is probably the best company I've worked for so far.
What do you think are the most important future trends for HR, in particular, given your tech background? You probably have some pretty cool predictions for the future that will definitely come true, of course, right?
Yeah, but well, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. Today it's AI. Tomorrow it's gonna be I don't know, metaverse or anything else, anything that you can imagine. But the most closest and the most recent trends is I think we already touched this a little bit before, but it's AI instruments in HR. It's something that is already out there, something that is coming. And the big concerns that these things kind of rise in the minds of people is answers to such questions like will it replace certain professions, right? Will it become compliant to certain standards and regulations? Can it be bias free, right? So if these questions are answered in the right way, I think the technology is going to be sticking with us for a while, and it's only the matter of embracing it and making sure that it's closely integrated into your experience, and then you don't need to worry that something will replace you, as long as you're growing together with it, right? So that's number one. Number two is the centricity of the market, like if it's employee centric or employer centric. So like we discussed just a few minutes ago, it looks like the most recent trend is that it's becoming more and more employer centered market right now, and it's going to stay like that for a while. So we need to understand that going forward, next few years are going to be tough, right? It's not like you can call your, like, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you could call yourself an IT professional, a junior one, fresh out of college, and already get few offers to select from. No, it's going to be harder to get a first job, specifically because of some AI solution that already kind of can do the junior level work, and assist more experienced people. So it will be harder to get juniors in the industry, get them up to speed and grow them, right? So that's the main question, one of the big questions and the big challenges. How are we going to be getting more fresh new talents into the industry if we cannot use juniors? For example, one of those big ones. So this is the question that still needs to be answered in the nearest time. But the most important point is that the employer centered market means increased demand to the quality of work, to the quality of the professionalism of people, their extended skills, their soft skills, and many other things that employer will be looking at in a person, right, when they're hiring one. Yeah, so that's kind of like that.
I think it's pretty cool. And well, I think the question you raise is whether AI will replace people. I think it's a super interesting question. To be honest, I'm very positive on that. To be honest, I think well, personally, I believe that it will replace those tasks anyone hates doing anyhow. So these repetitive, boring tasks that well are a bit like, well, it's a bit contradictory probably. So I think overall they make a lot of sense and they create a lot of value. However, every single task is hated by everyone because it doesn't create so much value if you just do the one task. So therefore, I think AI can be the great liberator, liberating us from the boring, repetitive work that well, we don't like doing. And well,
Exactly.
being, for example, banker by training, I remember that like 15, 20 years ago, everyone was like, hey, there will be online brokerage companies, there will be online banking, so nobody will need any bankers anymore. And well, it's not really true, right? So just people have found different found other tasks. They found other businesses within a bank, and probably it will be the very same for AI as well, getting rid of all the stuff we hate anyhow.
Yeah, this is very true, and I totally agree that repetitive tasks and some routine and boring things will be definitely replaced. This is the main focus, why so many tools are actually being created. Yeah, and I mean at the moment when the economy starts starts growing again, it's going to be very significant to be able to sustain a level of professionalism and kind of increase your personal skills and be able to kind of employ these tools. So and I think we now have a very good environment where we can read about things, try them out. There's just so many new products, and many of them actually suggest free trials, and this is just awesome because you can try something. If it works for you, you have an ability to make a conscious decision whether you want to stick with it or not. If not, you just move on to the next one. And there's a lot of information everywhere on the conferences, online, in the digests, and all other things that people are creating. There's massive flow of information about that topic, which is really cool.
It definitely is, Alex. Thank you so much for your time. It was great listening to you. It was great learning about you and the development. Well, you had well, obviously also how to pick great developers. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you for suggesting to talk to you, and that was a pleasure. Thanks.
And to you all out there, thanks a lot for listening in, and see you next time.
See ya. Take care.